5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and we have so much to get into this week. I mean, I know I always say that, but it really is the truth. Even on a slow week, like I'm being fed. I was really reflecting back, like trying to put things together this week, and I'm assuming everyone here is going to agree with me that there's really only one thing everyone's talking right now about. Everyone is talking about MOMTOK. So it's like, spoiler alert, that's going to definitely be my number one most talked about moment of the week. There's just so much there to unpack. So stay tuned to see how I'm going to tackle that as the number one moment of the week. I might have to do like a 2-part episode again, kind of like how I did with the Love Island reunion, because I have so many thoughts, but we'll still have a regular schedule programming show this week. I'm still going to do my OMG and my LOL. I'm still going to have a top 5 countdown. I feel like there just wasn't as much buzz around some of these other items this week. So, there are usually some kind of like timestamps or even like chapters included in, I use like another spoiler alert, I use AI to help like write my podcast descriptions and then of course like do the captions and stuff, because of course I'm not going to like transcribe my own podcast, type all of the text out and like submit it myself. So, there's some behind the curtain things there that it's like, even though I am a one woman show over here, I do use technology to help me produce this show. And I just think it's funny. Like I really have to try and like, research and develop on my own, like get my list together, like get everything set up. And sometimes it's just, some weeks are better than others, put it that way. But it was still a great week. Like there's still a lot going on. We're in this weird transition from summer to fall right now. And again, I've always talked about how I am definitely a summer baby. I love summer. We're going to be traveling a lot coming up. I mentioned last week a little bit about our upcoming schedule. And so I'm assuming I'm going to be able to still record and get these episodes out to you guys every week. Now I've got a really good like flow of things going. Like, I don't know if you guys either, like, I guess I should do a quick plug in the top of the show because I don't usually do this, but please make sure if you're not following me on Instagram, that's where I'm most active in my stories. If you guys don't know how to follow somebody's stories, you can actually go into the little corner bell of your notifications on your Instagram. You can choose to get updates from me. I mean, that's a little crazy. I think I'm probably the only one who cares about what I have to say that much. But if you guys really don't want to be missing my stories, you can add me on there to make sure you're not missing me there. I'm constantly posting little clips that I like to talk about on the show and other just random clips and little reels to my Instagram also. So sometimes some throwback moments, sometimes some current things that I have been thinking about and losing sleep over. I will post some little clips. So make sure you're following me over there. Also, make sure you're going to my YouTube. Again, if you're here watching me on the video, you probably already have found me there. Maybe not. I know I like to cut these videos up and use them for clips sometimes to get people over to the YouTube. But YouTube, Bella Talks TV, everything is Bella Talks TV. TikTok, I've only posted one TikTok still, but I had an idea for a TikTok today. I thought, maybe I'll bounce this idea off you guys first, but I had an idea the other day, or this morning actually, to do a TikTok about just what it's like to, I know it's like, I don't want to just be doing pop culture stories on my TikTok because I feel like that's like a space that's already being, taken up. But like, as I talk a lot on here about being one of these like Bravo content creators and stuff, like I think I want to take that Bella Talks TV page more about me and the podcast and like what it's like to run a podcast and like be in this community, because again, I am a very, very, very small fish in a big pond here, but I have been around a little bit of this industry so far. And I think one thing that I struggle with, and that I think a lot of people that listen to or watch reality TV and listen to reality TV podcasts, especially, and even smaller niche to try to explain to people. But it's like, there is definitely always this stigma. It's like, it never gets, shaken, that like, I just had to correct my mom, like, God bless her. And I don't think this was her. Again, I think that my mom too, like I love her. I know she listens. Hey mom. I just think like, she was like, oh, because you want to be a housewife. It's like, no. no, just because you like Housewives does not mean you aspire to be one, that you're trying to be on TV, that you are like living your life in this way, that you're trying to like emulate the Housewives. Like, I think we've already figured out by now, after like 18 years of Housewives going on, that it's not necessarily for everybody, and especially not for the average person. And you have to be a really special type of person. I would say it's just like a 1% of the population of the world that would be able to be a housewife. So it's not like, I'm not trying to be a housewife, you guys. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to be a real housewife of New York. I'm not going to like, it's just beyond. So that's one annoying stigma that I think I want to make a TikTok about. And then another thing I want to say is that it's not about like excusing. I don't know. I'm going to have to get a little bit deeper into this, but I think you guys see where I'm going with this. Like, there's just this thing about the people that work in this, care about this, whatever, that I don't know. It's weird. And that's why it's so good to be part of this community. And this is a perfect segue into my OMG of the week. Let's get right into it, because I went to the Salt Lake City watch party by Bravo this week, 2 days ago. It was a great time. I actually was worried at first I wasn't going to be able to go, because in classic Amanda fashion, bought a ticket to the actual Salt Lake City premiere, where I think must have been Whitney. Okay, so the party here in New York, it was Heather, Lisa, and Meredith. I mean, yes, I thought it was going to be just Lisa. And then I thought they would be Lisa and then like a random New York housewife or something. Like, because last time at the last watch party, it was 3 OC. It was Vicky, Shannon, and Jen Padranti and Ryan. And then Melissa Gorga was randomly there. So I'm like, okay, so maybe this will be like Lisa Barlow and then like Uba and Bryn or something. Well, probably not them because they're feuding, but something like that. I wasn't sure like who would be there, but I wasn't expecting it to be all 3 of the OGs, Lisa, Meredith, and Heather. It was so fun. Like, I have to really get sorted about my thoughts, because a lot was going on there. So my OMG of the week, truly why I'm bringing this up, is just how lit Heather specifically was the drunkest. Like, meeting her, like when you go up to do the photo ops, like I at BravoCon was never really doing the photo ops, because I am somebody who, like, I feel like just music festival wise, like whatever festival wise, I've gone to a bunch of different festivals and conventions and things. And I love a 3-day convention or a 3-day festival. Sign me up. Like, I don't care what it's for. Actually, one of the very first conventions I ever went to was something called Cal Jam, which was for a chiropractic seminar that was in OC, which is crazy. All roads lead back to Bravo in Costa Mesa. And that was like, that was one of my first ones ever. Warped Tours, like all these things like shaped me. But anyways, I love a good convention. I love a good BravoCon. And, I never usually do the pictures, because I don't think buying VIP is necessarily always worth it. Like, I like to sometimes. I see it at some things, it's worth it. But I really don't think, some things it really is just like a money grab. And I don't need to take pictures. Like, to me, the only difference between VIP and non-VIP at BravoCon is getting the chance to use the photo ops, and like not getting to cut the line and stuff to the photo ops. You can actually still use them. You just have to just wait in long ass lines if you don't have VIP. So it's hard for me to be like, okay, it's worth literally double the money to pay just to be able to take a picture. It is a true photo op, guys. I'm telling you, like, they give you 1 second. Like, you are not talking to these people. You are not having conversations. You are not asking them questions. Like, they're not going to know your name. Like, it is like, I kind of knew that already going into this. I don't usually pay for VIP. Now, when you do these Bravo watch parties, everybody's getting the same. There's no VIPs. It's all the same level. So you can do the photo op. So I did the one at the OC party. It was so fun. And when you go up to stand there, you have to, usually go up with your friend, with somebody. So shout out Mel. She's been with me for the last couple parties. And luckily for us, like, we are really good friends, but we have totally, usually opposite taste in housewives. And it usually works out for us to go to these things, because then you have to kind of split up into groups. So when we go to meet the girls at the OC one, she's like, okay, I really want to go on like the Shannon side. I'm like, perfect. I'd rather go on like the Vicky side. Same with Jen and Melissa Gorga. She's like, nah, I'm a Teresa girl. I'm going to stay on the Melissa side. I'm like, perfect. I'll go on the Gorga side. Like, we got a good flow going. So when we go to take our picture with the Salt Lake City ladies, we're kind of like, okay, she's like, I'm going to go by Meredith. Like, you go by Heather, and like Lisa will be in the middle. We'll kind of just like split it up. I'm like, perfect. I was really excited to meet Lisa. But when I got up to do this photo booth with them, they were so drunk, all three of them, all three different levels though. Heather was like, good time girl, like, hey girl, like party, like what up? Like she seemed like she was up. She was having a good time. Lisa was almost like the friend that she had no shoes on. Like she looked a little lost in all the photos. She was kind of like that drunk, lost girl drunk. And then we have Meredith, who we know things are being mixed. So I'm not 100% sure, but I didn't get to stand by her or really get to talk to her. But as I left and as I walked away, I made sure I leaned down to her and was like, I didn't get to stand by you. I love you. I'm from Chicago. And she was like, oh. And she gave me like the perfect, like Meredith, like if you're on the video, she was like, hey. It was so amazing. So yeah, we got to take a picture with them. I know there was so much going on. Again, I have to like think. So that was really the photo thing. We were the last people to get pictures with them because I hate waiting in line. And so we were, let's go at the end of the line and kind of just sneak in at the end. And they came up behind us and they were like, okay, the line's closed. Like after these two, we were like, well, we almost didn't get our picture with them. Also, Lisa, when she lost her shoes and drunkenly disappeared for like 20 minutes backstage, just Heather and Meredith stayed up on stage and took pictures. And I didn't want to go up and try to take a picture without Lisa up there. So as soon as she got back up there, I went up. It was good. We got the pictures. If you guys are following me online, another plug to follow me on Instagram because I'll be posting some of the picture stills again, and they're just all bad. We just all, like, I was not drunk. I had literally one little Bravo martini, which was a lychee martini, which I love. And it's funny because they weren't serving the pumptinis. And I mean, you guys know, like, not that I'm trying to like, I'm not as attached to Lisa Vanderpump right now. I'm going to need like a renaissance from her for me to get like kind of back with Lisa. But the pumptini was so bad that I had at that Bravo Experience brunch that I went to. And I noticed that they were not on the menu. So I wonder if a lot of people were complaining that like they didn't like them. So I had one Bravo teeny lychee martini. And then the funny thing is like they do the drink menus. And so we were sitting there and we had sat with two girls we didn't know, but like they were cool. Always love to make more Bravo friends. And we were all getting our drinks and all of the drinks on the menu. Actually, I think I have a picture of it because they were all named Salt Lake City, like little moments from Salt Lake City. And I think I only took the picture on my Instagram. So maybe I don't have the still of it. Let's see if I have it. Shoot, yeah. Okay, I don't have the drink menu, but I remember mine was called Bravo Teeny, and we all had to say it like in the way. So we were like, Pump Teeny. I was like, Bravo Teeny. I can't really do an English accent. Bravo Teeny. That was pretty good. Okay, so Bravo Teeny. I had a Bravo Teeny, and then there was a You Can Mule. That was a Moscow Mule. So I had one of those, but it took an hour and a half to get our food. I ordered mac and cheese. So these parties are just a little jank, you guys. I'm sorry. Like, I also had to look up the word. I've been saying the word jank again a lot. I'm bringing it back. And I had to look up the other day if it is a slur, if it comes from anything like not PC. It said no. It just comes from like broken down. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Hit me in the DMs. Leave me in the comments if the word janky is a slur that I should not be using. But yeah, the parties are a little janky. And they obviously put all the money into the talent. So anyways, the ladies are wasted. We get our photo. We leave the stage. Okay, so before we did the photo op, though, they have the premiere. I forgot I've already seen the whole first episode of season 5. It's really good, you guys. It's pretty good. It was good enough where I didn't want to get up and go to the bathroom because there weren't commercials. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to miss something. So I tried to pick like a good moment to go to the bathroom. But okay, so I don't want to give anybody spoilers, and I also don't want to get my ass fucking banned from these parties. So let me think about what was going on in the trailer without giving you any spoilers. So Lisa, the show does open with Lisa. She is the first housewife seen. I will give that spoiler. She's clearly going to be the lead this season. So, or she's the fan favorite right now, or whatever. So opens to Lisa, and it just is catching up with all of the ladies. It shows a little bit of the aftermath from last season with Monica, and it's catching up with everybody. We're getting introduced to new women. So I know Bronwyn, a lot of people have been talking about how there's another Bronwyn on reality TV on Bravo now. My first impression of her, I'm obviously not going to give, again, like any major plot points, but maybe my silence says it all. I'm not sure yet. The jury's going to be out on her. She obviously is going to cause some ruffles and some feathers. I was kind of like, I remember clapping and being like into her because she obviously like she says a lot of what she's thinking, and it's refreshing, and it doesn't seem like she's trying to, beat around any bushes or be too delicate. So that actually is really nice. I think people are going to like her, but I'm also skeptical because I know Lisa is such a fan right now. And I think there's going to be some, the dynamic is always shifting in Salt Lake City. So it's just going to be interesting. It's like, are you going to like Bronwyn if she's fighting with some of your favorites? We'll see. She comes in hot though. I will say that. Now there's another new girl named Brittany that I'm also kind of obsessed with. She seems a little bit like, she to me seems more housewife to me. Bronwyn seems more influencer to me, if that makes sense. So Brittany's funny. She's quirky. And she's a little, I think she's reminds me, I don't know, like I'm trying to compare her to somebody else, but I know that's not good. Like judge her for yourself. But I think she seems fun and cute and kind of like, I don't want to call her like, do not want to use the words DNS as James Kennedy or as Raquel would say, the DNS words. I do not want to say that, but she seems just kind of like funny and ditzy. Ditzy, I think, is an unoffensive word to use for that. Okay, I know that they showed a little bit of the other new girl, I think Melee a little bit, but I don't remember much of her. So I think that she's going to be probably the least influential out of the three new girls. So I'm interested to see, like, she obviously must make it on one of the cast trips or something. And maybe that's why she's really included like in the cast. So yeah, the ladies are traveling this year. Remember, Jen Shaw is gone. So they're going to be doing some things, going some places. And Mary Cosby is also back as a full-time housewife. And this again has been controversial. She didn't show up to do the reunion. She got fired. And now we know all this drama went down with her son. And I'm very invested in this coming out because I think that this is a classic thing of housewives, maybe not trying to tackle this on TV. And I will say, like, I'm not the biggest Nene fan. I think you guys might know if you follow me online. Not that I don't respect her as an OG in the right of her own, but I don't like the way that she played and the way that she went out and the way, she kind of was on the outs with NBC Universal. But like now it looks like she's doing this Emmy hosting party, which is NBC Universal. And she was on her Instagram saying that she's happy to be back with the family. Maybe we are going to be seeing Nene again. Like I said, I'm not totally, the bridge isn't burned with Nene, but I have been really upset with her for the way that she's treated Andy. So, and just in general, she's kind of like Bethany and biting the housewife's hand that fed her. So it's like, don't hate on us on this. You need us just as much as we need you. So Mary got fired from Housewives, but she obviously was asked back. People were calling for her to come back. She was a friend of, but she didn't really do much for me, you guys. Like people were wanting her to come back so bad. It's funny how, I don't know. I don't think I think like this, but maybe I do. And maybe it triggers me because I'm like this and I don't know it. But psychoanalyze myself. But I don't like when people like a random housewife, let's say Gretchen. People like love Gretchen now. And they're like standing Gretchen, wanting Gretchen to come back just because she had beef with Tamra. And they think that if she comes back, she will take Tamra down. It's like, you don't actually like Gretchen. You just like that she dislikes the housewife that you dislike and fights your battles for you. Like, I don't like that. It's like, I want them to fight themselves. I don't like randos like getting in the mix and fighting for people. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see how this season really does play out. So the premiere though was really good. Okay, so yeah, Mary is back. Heather, to me, I think is not going to be, I think she's going to be a little bit edited, like probably good at it and a little bit to the side a little. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be talking about her weight loss and stuff. People are probably going to find that very controversial. I mean, Ozempic and everything, semaglutide has been around for a while now. Like it shouldn't really be that shocking. There are some people though that I see like Brie from Selling Sunset that I'm like, oh my gosh, like it is just so interesting how different people look when they do lose weight. And also like what a very insane time we are living in. Like this is like the Revolutionary War. Like this is like the war on our body. This is like humans' war on aging. Like the great aging revolution of 2024. I cannot believe how younger and different people look now. That has another thing to do with just like when you look younger and you're into these things, it's like people just be judging. But anyways. Okay, so yeah, so that's most of the ladies. I mean, the party itself, like, was any major tea revealed? Not really. The executive producer of Salt Lake City was there with the girls, and she came on stage. She took the mic at one point, and they asked her, like, what to expect for the season. She said that there would actually, she said, you might look up here now and see Heather, Lisa, and Meredith together, but, like, don't be surprised if throughout the season, like, they're not getting along. So basically, like, expect them to also be fighting and having drama just because they're good now. That's the best part about these ladies. I think everybody agrees. They fight, they go for the jugular, they say crazy shit about each other, but they are still friends. It is like a true sisterhood. They are sisters. I'm obsessed with Salt Lake City right now. I think I need to go there. Okay, so yeah. So I'm trying to think, what else can I tell you guys without giving you spoilers? Nothing. Tune in. Tune in for the show. Whitney is insufferable. I will say she is going to have a tough time this season. I can tell. I think if you're noticing, yes, Whitney was not at the party. So I'm assuming she might have been obviously at the Salt Lake City version of the watch party, which she probably was there with Angie K, which also will make sense once you see the first episode. I mean, I love Angie K. I don't want to be disappointed in her this season. I think that she is playing Housewives. I think she knows that she needs to stay on the show. And when you are the bone collector, when you are the one being the producer's pet, you guys remember, like, production is a very, very important part because production asks the ladies, what's going on? And these ladies just yap. This is going on. This is going on. We're fighting. She texted me this. This happened when we were not filming. And what do they do with that? The producers put it together like that equation with the meme. They see it and they map it out, and they get these women to go to each other's houses, tell on each other. Like, it's not like they're naturally doing these things. Like, production, it's like the breaking of the fourth wall here. It's okay. It's okay to know that it's not scripted. They don't say, hey, go in there and say this, but they say, hey, you need to call Whitney and ask her about that party you guys went to and what happened that night. And then it's, hey, you need to have Angie over in the morning to have croissants, and not even specifically whatever breakfast they want, but you need to have her over in the morning the next day to debrief. Call times 9 a.m. Like, it's like these things are going on already. So you're going to naturally be talking about it, doing whatever. They want to make a good show. These ladies want to keep their jobs. They're not just coasting on the success that they had last season. They're coming even harder this year. So I think it's going to be a really good season. It's going to be funny. It's going to be dramatic. But that's another thing about Salt Lake City. They're able to do drama without going too dark. They're talking about dark things, but, you know, a lot of the family and the rumors and the nastiness. But it's all good. They're all able to see what they're doing and understand the dynamics. So I think that MOMTOK's going to be a lot like that. So maybe it's a Utah thing. So yes. Okay. So anyways, is that my whole OMG of the week? Yes, I think so. I think we covered most of it. Like I said, nothing was really revealed there, but again, I did see that whole first episode. So not even like a screener version of it. Like, I think it was the edited, ready to go, coming to you soon version. So I believe that premieres Tuesday. Okay, so let's move over into my LOL of the week, everybody. We're going to be heading into the Selling Sunset land of Netflix. And there's been a lot of LOLs in this season so far. So I have not watched the whole season yet because, again, MOMTOK, you guys got MOMTOK problems. I have not had a lot of time to watch the Selling Sunset new season, but I'm about 4 episodes in. I'm just now to the episode where, again, spoiler alert, but again, this is only halfway through the season, but this is all the drama online. So again, like, I don't know. I should just stop saying spoiler alert, but then I'm scared that if I don't, people are going to be mad. So if you are not to this part yet, the big drama of Selling Sunset this season is a lot of the cheating that Chelsea, Lascani's husband, Jeff, was doing, and the drama because of Bree, who is Nick Cannon's baby mama, who was married to Johnny Manziel of NFL infamy. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of baby daddy, a lot of things happening. And it's not good. It's not good out there. It's so Beverly Hills. And they bring this exact point up. So Jeff apparently cheats on Chelsea. Bree wants to bring this on camera because she wants to get Chelsea back for coming after her, for judging her for having a baby with Nick Cannon last season, because Chelsea was like, I don't really approve of Nick Cannon just like spreading his seed everywhere. All of these kids are going to come from broken homes now. None of them are going to have a real father figure. And this is fucked up. And Brie was like, don't judge me and how I choose to live my life as part of like basically a sister wife. So, it's different strokes for different folks here. In the end of the season, Brie pretty much quit the show over this, but then decided to come back. They got her back somehow. They obviously gave her a raise because that's the same thing she did with the Oppenheim group. She told Brett and Jason, like, I'm not coming back next season unless you give me a raise. And then they were like, well, we really cannot do that. Like we have 30 employees. Like, we're not giving everybody raises. And she's like, okay, well, I'll just come back anyway. It's like, okay, so maybe she did or did not actually get anything for this. But anyway, she is determined to come back this season, probably with the pure joy of just taking Chelsea down with this rumor or this truth of Jeff cheating. And I mean, the receipts were receding, and I really liked this girl that is this Amanda. I always love another Amanda, put it that way. But this Amanda girl, this random blonde girl who did make an appearance last season, and I had posted one thing about the fashions of Selling Sunset last season. They were also really good. I love this show for what these girls wear. It's one of my favorite like little side like gasms of this show. I really love watching the looks. And in the beginning of the season, they open up to the ladies all in their closets, like getting dressed for the day. So they're getting it. They know we're all playing into it now. The girls are dressing more outrageous than ever. And that's what brings me really into the LOL of the week, because they start, getting into the show, and all the women, of course, are wearing crazy shit. And some of them have fashion, and then some of them are renting the runway. Mary and Chelsea have to do this co-listing for this house, this huge $30 million mansion. And Mary is going to be hosting this Brokers Open with Chelsea. And Nicole is the first broker to show up, who is one of the thirstiest that we know will basically say anything for camera time. She's finally like weaseled her way on here as a main cast member. But she is, you guys remember Davina? Like, it's like she's Davina, but worse. Like, she just is, again, this producer's pet that will basically like do anything to make a scene go. So she shows up to this Brokers Open in what Mary calls an Oscars dress. And it's too much. Like, it's going over the top, but it's not like camp. It's not fun. Like, Chelsea shows up wearing a Paige DeSorbo pantless, like underwear suit blazer dress. And that's very controversial. Like, that ends up being like a big drama for that episode. Everyone's like, what the fuck is Chelsea wearing? Like, underwear to her Brokers Open? It was very Paige coded. But it was the funniest scene. I posted the clip to my Instagram. Again, go find it. It's just the way Mary is like, okay, Nicole looks great. But like, hun, no, this is not the Oscars. Like, not the right time and place. Like, you look insane. And Mary just is so sweet whenever she says something. She's one of my low-key like bobblehead favorites. She's always like, like, again, not to say she's not smart. She's obviously very smart, even though I think that a lot, hot take. I don't want to diminish her. I know that she's a single mom and she's a badass, but she obviously dated Jason and had a lot of success because of that. So, but whatever, it's Beverly Hills. Like, this is what goes on out there. Oh my gosh. So there's a lot of drama in this season, not just from the fashion, everybody shading each other's fashion choices, but a lot of the drama comes from these cheating rumors about Chelsea. And then again, a lot of the rumors from what seems to be Emma, which I'm not to these parts in the season yet, so I don't have a lot of opinion yet, but they say that, or Nicole says that Emma, the tall blonde, Emma's empanadas, the vegan with the private jet, that she has a married husband. Yeah, and it was giving me flashbacks to Southern Charm season 1 Jenna. If you guys know, you know. Because Jenna also had a rich boyfriend who had a private jet, and but she was open about it, but he was married still. And then he actually died, which was insane. He died the summer after the first season of Southern Charm premiered. And it was crazy that it was like Jenna's married boyfriend dies of a heart. He had like a heart problem. So anyways, yeah, this has been, I guess, debunked. Everybody is online defending Emma, saying it's not true. Again, I don't have an opinion yet. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not her, but I'm not to those episodes yet, so I'll have to see. But I'm lolling through the season so far. A lot of the funny things the girls are saying, it's just not that serious. Chelsea is really just my favorite. Is that controversial? Chelsea's my favorite. And then I love G. I love G and Chriselle. I think Chriselle, I understand that she goes really hard for G, which is admirable. And of course, we want to see a partner like that, a wife sticking up for her wife like that. So, okay, G is non-binary, but I guess it's just partner, right? Because it's not wife. It's not husband. Okay. So anyways, working it out. I'm working it out as I speak it out. So yeah, that was my LOL of the week. Anyways, you guys go check out this season. I have to finish it maybe tomorrow when I'm flying to Florida. So let's take a quick break here and then we will get into my top 5. Okay, everybody, welcome back. I am laughing. I'm just nice and comfy in here today. Candy's laying underneath me. Don't worry. She's always here. Never too far. We're getting ready to fly. She has flown I want to say probably 20 times, if not 25 or something. She's a frequent flyer. People love her in the airport too. She's a little star. Okay, so anyways, let's get into my top 5 most talked about moment of the week. We're going to be checking in with the Real Housewives of Miami rumors that Dr. Nicole could or could not be out. May or may not be out. We don't know. There's a lot of rumors swirling. I'm disappointed by this. I really like Dr. Nicole, but I was kind of talking about this the other night, and I have a couple, I guess theories, we could call them. So one theory is that she actually did want to come back and that she was let go. I would say, because if they're going to let somebody go, if they're going to make cast changes, I think, I'm not sure everybody is confirmed to come back. I guess that is the rumor I heard this morning, that there's a lot of rumors of this is like Jersey. So I'm trying not to confirm anything, but there are rumors that everybody was coming back except for Dr. Nicole. And then there were also rumors though that I had heard before that Gertie wasn't coming back. And then I also heard that Julia wasn't coming back. But these were all rumors that I heard swirling over the summer and stuff. The most recent was just the Dr. Nicole stuff. Now, they said that cameras have not actually picked back up yet, but we saw some things getting filmed between Alexia and Marisol, I think, or Alexia and she was sitting down with somebody. I can't remember. Maybe Larsa? Somebody, they were sitting down. So there was some filming happening, I think. I think that they were probably trying to get casting down. So, obviously Julia and Martina, they just adopted these 2 boys. I know that they are definitely not just doing that for the show. That would be absolutely insane. But I think the timing is peculiar. Also could just be alignment. So there are rumors that she wasn't going to be coming back, but now I'm sure she will be. Hello, everyone's going to want to see that in America. Martina Navratilova having twin boys. Yes, it's time. So that's one of the rumors. Now, the other rumor is that Gertie wasn't coming back. And I have to say, I was a little happy to hear that. And this has nothing to do with her not wanting her to be healthy. She's in remission. I have to say, I think maybe she just really has found a new confidence in herself being bald now. Because ever since she shaved her head, I don't think I've ever seen her in a wig ever again, which is interesting because she was always wearing wigs before she even had cancer. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know if she now is just okay, I'm known as bald head Gertie. So I want the world to know me and I'm trying to stay. I don't know. That's kind of a dark thought to put out there, you guys. I'm sorry. I know this is a safe space with us, but it's I don't know. She's been in remission for a while. I don't want to say that it just seems like it's still going on. Does anyone else feel like that? I don't know. So also last season, oh my God, guys, this is controversial. I don't know if I can share these thoughts with you, but I'm going to just do it. And I'm going to pray for mercy. I feel like she did weaponize her cancer a little bit. I think she did just a little bit. Now, I am not the biggest Larsa fan. I think she's, for lack of a better word, see, I don't even like to say bad words, but I'm really not going to try to put these women down. I don't like Larsa that much, put it that way. I just am not 100% sure I just don't know, you guys. What do you think? Do you think that I just go back and watch the reunion again? She just really, when the other girls didn't handle it or they fumbled it, she was really happy. She was almost yes. When Larsa fucked up the whole situation with the cancer stuff and not understanding and just how everything was getting played, even the way that Gertie sat her down to reveal the cancer to Larsa first. It was almost like she was using that for her storyline. Oh my God. I know, you guys. I know. All I'm going to say is I'm glad that she doesn't have cancer anymore so that I can speak freely. And I'm glad she's in remission. She's healthy. I'm going after a healthy person here. Okay. I'm not even going after her. I'm just speaking my truth. But I don't know. Rumors are that she's coming back. I think she got a little lost in the sauce and got a little addicted to the fame. That's all I'm going to say. Now, Alexia and Todd have been going through a breakup and a divorce, a very messy public something. And now they've been seen spotty making out, getting back together like in Saint Tropez. So I need to see this. Speaking of Larsa, we know that Marcus was seen sniffing, going skiing in Paris over the summer. And then now he's been seen on leaving some comments, replying to some comments that people are like, where's Larsa? And he's like, she's back in the streets where she belongs. So yeah, it seems like it was a messy breakup. And I'm really excited to hear more about that because when he was at BravoCon, you guys, he was like almost as popular as Andy. He was taking pictures with fans. He was at all of the panels. He was following her around, going to all these events. Like he was loving it. So I'm shocked to see that 1 year later, this is where we are. Adriana, I haven't heard much about. She was technically just a friend of before. So now one of my theories is that they need someone to be producer's pet, right? They need somebody to be the Tamra, be the Rena, be the whoever, bring shit from offline onto the show. We call these the bone collectors. Now, I think that they really were trying to get Dr. Nicole to probably do this because, as we know, last season, Alexia and Marisol were very upset that she invited Anna Kinkosis to that mama brunch, and it caused them to walk out and leave, and there was a huge fight, and all this stuff went on. And then that went into the reunion, and then it turned out that, Nicole was definitely speaking to Anna off screen a little bit. And I think that producers probably were wanting to really bring Anna back because she was an OG from season 1 Miami. Go back and watch all the original seasons of Miami. You will not be disappointed. It's just interesting to see, like, I'm not 100% sure if they maybe tried to get Anna to come back. They wanted to do it through Dr. Nicole. Maybe Dr. Nicole said, no, I do not want to be involved in this. I do not want to bring Anna on. Anna's going to go for blood, and I don't want to be the one that brought her onto the show. I'm just going to quit the show. Or maybe she said no, and then they were like, okay, well, we're not going to renew your contract. So maybe that's one theory that I have. Another theory is that her husband clearly, it's giving Tom Girardi, it's giving something in the insurance attorney situation. They got lots of money. Okay. And it's like, is she quitting now because she knows as seasons go on, it gets deeper, it gets darker. Marisol, we know, is the PR queen. And because they, feuded last season, basically, Nicole and Marisol have kind of been feuding since the first season of Nicole being on. It's, maybe Marisol found something out about Dr. Nicole and the family and the husband, and she doesn't want it to come out, so she's going to maybe quit the show. Like, there's so many, different theories it could be. So we'll have to tune in and see what else went on in Miami. I think that's pretty much it, except for, of course, Lisa and Lenny. I talked about that so much last week. Please go and check out last week's episode to hear all the, the latest about Lenny. I'm so happy, you guys. I was really like, woo! I was whooping it up. Yeah. Side little thing. Vicky is opening a bar in Puerto Vallarta called Whoop It Up with Vicky. Who's going? Okay. So let's move on to my number 4 most talked about week, you guys. It is 44 minutes in, and I'm just chatting it up with you guys. The number 4 most talked about moment of the week last week was Kristen Doty and Luke Broderick are engaged. And this could have been my OMG of the week. My jaw did hit the floor. I did not see this coming. I was just calling for Van Gogh to disappear. And unfortunately, now he has solidified himself as a permanent staple in this group, on this show, in Kristen Doty's life. Now, the only thing that this is already, again, this is messed up to say. Okay. And I don't like to wish divorce on anybody. But let's just say anything can happen. And until they have walked down the aisle and until they have lasted to their 10-year vow renewal, anything could happen. And let's just hope that Andy and the camera are ready. to go. He got proposed. I actually think this is kind of cute that he proposed to her when they were in Hawaii. That's a great place to get engaged. They were on a boat with all their friends. It looked like a true surprise. She looked really shocked, which I love. I love a shocking engagement. I had no idea when I was getting engaged. I did not even shower that day. We were going to get a Christmas tree. I was like, whatever. I have been drinking some hard spiced apple cider. It was like, what? It was so random. So, and then I cried and it was very clear. I had no idea what was going on. So it's fun when other people are there. Like my original thing used to be like, I only want to get engaged at home in bed. Like I'm one of those girlies. I wanted nobody to be around. I wanted it to be like private. He ended up like proposing in front of his entire family and like an entire staff of people that I didn't know. And looking back now, I really don't care. It was worth it and it was fun and it was funny. So you have to just let people like propose to you in the way that they want to, because you want it to be like an authentic moment. And that's just my opinion for it. I know some girls like plan their own engagements. Could not be me. But yeah, so I'm happy that Kristen and Luke are engaged because I want her to be happy. I do want my Mariposa to be happy. And I'm hoping for the best for them. I'm taking a little break from talking about Brittany and Jax. I'm like a little Brittany'd out. Lala had her baby, a little update there that she did have the baby. She named it Sosa. For me, I don't know why. So Sosa, I believe, is the periodic element term for salt water, the element term for salt water. So that's interesting to be ocean and salt water for the names. Now I have to look and see like exactly what Bitches Love Sosa is, because when I lived in Chicago, Chief Keef was a staple of the community at the time. This is like a random deep cut, but he has that song, Bitches Love Sosa. I don't know what Sosa means. Should I look it up now? Let's do a little Urban Dictionary. Oh no. It's worse than I thought, you guys. I was not expecting this. Sosa. Smoking on something amazing. Bitches love Sosa. These bitches love Sosa. These want some Molly. That's the official quote. Everybody loves some Sosa after a long day at work. Oh God. Okay. Anyways, no comment on the rest of that. So I'm trying to think what else is going on in the Valley. I think we haven't heard that production has wrapped. I'm sure we're going to get a reunion this year, which is going to be great. He thinks that Jax has moved in with Schwartz. Those are some of the rumors swirling because of a photo that he posted saying that he's not living in the marital home anymore and that he has relocated to somewhere temporary, and the photo looked like Schwartz's apartment. So rumor is that Vanderpump Rules cameras will be picking up end of October, mid-October, something like that. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a totally different time. We've never seen them film that time of year. We're going to see them during the holidays. I'm wondering if somehow they tie Vanderpump Rules and VPR into something. I would love for them to do a thing where this is a little cosplay, a little fanfic for a sec. I would love for them to do something where they transition again. Remember how they transitioned to even introduce the Valley from Vanderpump Rules? If they ended Vanderpump Rules, maybe it's time. They end it and then they do a family scene where they're like all at Christmas and it's the end of Vanderpump Rules and it's like everybody with their families, everybody at home. And it just is like the end. And then it's like those members from the Valley or from Vanderpump Rules, Sheena, Lala, Jax, Kristen, I mean, she's an OG, but whatever. It will move over into this other thing. I wonder if we'll get Stassi officially back on the Valley. I would think that they should just do the Valley with the original Vanderpump Rules people that all have kids and stuff now. The people that don't have kids can be friends of. And Vanderpump Rules just is, I don't know, just spitballing here. So, okay, so yeah, that's my number 4 most talked about moment. Kristen and Van Gogh are engaged. Kristen Van Gogh. Number 3 most talked about moment of the week. Talking about The Bachelorette again. I don't have too much opinion on this because I tried to do a little bit of research and there's a lot out there and it just happened and I needed to record this morning. So we're going to talk about the Devin deleted apology video. Or not even an apology video. I think it was more of a receipts video, which we love receipts as a society. And I'm surprised he's getting so much hate for posting the receipts. But they're calling this like kind of revenge porny. And, Devin got ripped apart at the Bachelor finale. I talked about it last week on the episode. If you guys don't know what's going on and haven't been watching Bachelorette this season, I feel bad for you because it was actually a good season and people are so in their heads about getting into this stuff. It's like, just watch it. And I don't know if you guys know the Brav Bros. I'm always trying to shout out other creators, but the Brav Bros covered The Bachelorette this season, and I really appreciated their content. So go follow them too if you're looking for some male perspectives. Also, again, don't forget I was on the Bravo Outsider podcast. They are awesome. Go follow them too. So back to Devin. Okay, so Jen basically goes on the finale of the Bachelorette, and she's like, Devin totally did me dirty. He broke up with me by phone call. He basically ghosted me after we left Hawaii and got engaged, and it's all his fault, and I have no idea what happened. He didn't communicate with me, blah, blah. Devin responded, which most of the time the men in these situations have the PR knowledge to be like, I'm not going to respond. It's only going to get worse for me. If I don't respond, it will just go away. Hopefully I'll end up in Bachelor in Paradise and I'll redeem myself on the beach. That's usually the gameplay. But unfortunately, this time Devin took to Instagram to release, I believe, what was a 12-minute video of him explaining everything that happened from when they got engaged to when they broke up. And he posted a lot of receipts in a lot of text messages that show the timeline, that show the struggles they were having, and show that this was not a situation where Jen was blindsided. She was really going from the Lindsay Hubbard playbook. I talked about this. Like, she had no idea he was going to break up with her. And he's like, I'm not standing for this. He totally was like, I'm living in a world now where I'm not going to let my name get dragged. And, much like Carl, stood up for himself in that situation and was like, no, like, it takes two to tango. We were both in this relationship. It wasn't perfect. You weren't an angel and things weren't just all my fault. Let's talk about the truth, why we didn't work out, and put it all out there instead of you just blaming me and being the victim. Not going to lie. I see it. I see it, you guys. It's controversial, even though I, of course, don't want anybody to have to go through this kind of stuff. And Jen really took a beating. But now I'm looking back at those tears at the finale, and I'm like, I'm giving a little side eye because it's not really like adding up to me. Like, it's a lot. It's almost like if Lindsay would have sat at the reunion and cried the whole time. It would have been like, how are you still so upset and blindsided by this? I think it's more like embarrassment. It's more like, there's been a few bachelorettes like this, you guys, where at the end, like, they basically don't get engaged or it doesn't work out. And like, that is embarrassing for them. Like, they go through this whole process. They're supposed to be basically the most sought after eligible bachelorette in America. Everyone's supposed to be wanting to be married. She's supposed to have like 24 proposals to turn down. And when nobody wants to be with her in the end, it is a huge problem to the network, to the franchise, to the girls involved, to everybody. So it's not good for the brand. So Devin is like, basically, I'm not going to let Bachelor Nation like turn me into the villain. Like, I'm fucking posting receipts. And that's exactly what he did. And then he deleted the video afterwards. But of course, that is way too late, buddy. Like, it is out there. You can go watch the full unedited video. I think it's on TikTok, YouTube, all types of places. And all of the screenshots are out there. And it does show that Jen was doing some questionable things. One thing that I heard was that they were going to couples counseling. They were communicating about when they were meeting and counseling. They were both also given assigned counselors from Bachelor Nation, which is good, right? We love to hear that they're getting mental health services. So they both had individual counselors, and then they were both doing couples counseling. And Jen fired their couples counselor without telling Devin, without consulting him, all the stuff. Devin like texts her one day and is like, why is our session canceled? Like, where is this girl? Like, all the stuff. Jen goes on to say, like, she didn't even feel the need that she needed to even explain to him why she made that choice. But like, basically she felt like she just didn't like this other girl, wanted to get a new one. But Devin's just like, this is my life too. This is my relationship too. Like, I don't know, you guys. Like, I do think this is one thing I'm going to say. When you're chosen to be the Bachelorette, especially when you were not necessarily the first pick or the lead or anything from the season before. Like, it was kind of random that I thought that Jen was chosen. But anyways, again, I really wanted Maria. I will never stop talking about it. Justice for Maria. It's okay that maybe some of the guys thought that Maria was going to be the Bachelorette when they got there. Maybe they thought Daisy was going to be there, and then it was you. But they still gave you a chance. They still let feelings flourish. Like, But this is a messed up situation. Like, these guys do sign up for the show before they even know who's cast. And I think maybe they should change that to really get authentic casting down for people that really want to marry these people and not just go on for the wrong reasons. So, it's some fault. It's like, don't hate the player, hate the game sometimes. But at the end of the day, posting receipts is a very controversial thing. I'm kind of here for it. I think that it's really dangerous to put one side of a narrative out there and expect everybody to believe it. I think all the facts should be there for everybody to determine what side and what truth they think about what went down. And I think that they're both wrong. They both contributed to the breakup, and they're both reasons why it did not work out after seeing the text messages, which is a little different than the week before when we were all with the pitchforks against Devin. So it's hard to really say what went down. They will only know there's his side, her side, and then there's the truth. That's how it always goes. So that was my number three most talked about moment of the week. Devin's deleted Bachelorette video. Go find it if it interests you. Moving on to my number 2 most talked about moment of the week. We haven't been dipping into Teen Mom much this season, but Teen Mom is one of the most influential shows of my reality TV journey, of everyone's reality TV journey. It is, 16 and Pregnant was a huge culture wave shock. Teen Mom went on to be, the follow-up show to some of the women we had saw on 16 and Pregnant. And then now we have Teen Mom Next Chapter, OGs, whatever they call it, where it's a lot of these women that we're still following. Amber is the probably most famous. Amber and Gary and little baby Leah, who is now 15, I believe. She has basically come to the assumption she's old enough now to make the decision if she wants to spend time with her mother or not. And unfortunately, she's leaning towards emancipation, I believe. Or not emancipation, because that would be independent. She's leaning towards giving up her mother's legal rights to her, basically divorcing her mom and having Christina adopt her, which I guess at 16 you're allowed to do also. So it's not saying like, oh, I want to be my own legal guardian and I don't want any parents at 16. She's still going to have Gary and Christina be her legal parents. Leah's had enough after 7 months of Amber not checking in with her and not seeing her because she's been too busy with Gary 2.0, who they don't even end up together, which is crazy. Amber, they've all just had enough. They're throwing in the towel. Gary, you can see, is done. He's like, Leah don't want to spend time with her mama. She's over it. Christina's like, she's a deadbeat mom. We've been taking care of Leah forever. It's enough. They've just reached their breaking point. And now that the show has aired and Amber is watching the season back, things have gotten really ugly. Amber is fucking pissed at Gary and Christina. Because Amber refused to do the reunion, the whole reunion was canceled, which I don't agree with. I would still like to know what's going on with all the other couples. I love a good reunion. But pretty much things are really bad. And, if you guys don't remember, if you guys haven't been watching this season, first of all, Amber gets engaged to this new Gary. Gary is Leah's dad, and then she meets this new Gary who's, he's Asian Gary. He's Vietnamese, I believe, or Thai, I believe Vietnamese. And his family, came over, and I believe he was like the first immigrant in his family to come over, and they put roots down in Indiana, and his family's there, and he's from Indiana. So, it's not like that random, I guess. He falls in love with Amber and proposes to her on her couch while Macy and Caitlin are sitting right there, like gagged, and they get engaged. Then Amber's so happy, right? She's on cloud 9. Again, remember, Amber suffers from a lot of different mental health issues, and this sends her into a total mania. She wants to start spending time with Leah again. She's reaching out. She wants Leah to meet Gary. She wants her to know she's engaged. It's a lot. Leah actually likes Gary. She's like, I actually kind of like this guy. He seems cool. I have a problem with my mom. The problem's not with Gary. I don't like my mom. She is insane. So they just, have a falling out. It's not good. Gary ends up fleeing Indiana, crossing state lines, disappearing for days. State police track him down. He basically just ran to escape Amber. Producers on Teen Mom were afraid that Amber murdered Gary. So yeah, I can see why they're not doing a reunion this year, I guess, in the end. All the other girls, their storylines. I mean, Caitlyn and Tyler are definitely trying to secure their next year's storyline with their problems with their adoptive parents, Carly's adoptive parents. Now they have been involved, Brandon and Teresa, they have been involved since the beginning. They've always allowed cameras not to film Carly and them, but to follow their journey and keep like an open adoption. And they have recently ghosted Caitlyn and Tyler. They're not speaking to them and they're not letting them speak with Carly or see Carly. I'm wondering if it's a similar situation that went on with, well, there's two different theories I have with this. One is Tyler is doing OnlyFans. And I mean, Carly is old enough to maybe know that. And maybe they're like, we need to make sure, like maybe they're trying to protect her from that. I don't really agree with that. Okay. I think it's weird. That's all I'll say. OnlyFans specifically. But Tyler's on OnlyFans, whatever. Maybe Carly knows. My second theory is that maybe it is, Carly's choice. Maybe they're trying to either protect her and Carly doesn't know, or Carly does know and she doesn't want to see Tyler, kind of like how Leah doesn't want to see Amber anymore. So it's weird. They're old enough to make these decisions at some point. So got to let these kids, decide. One thing I will say about Teen Mom that I'm so happy to see, Ryan is 1 year sober. Bentley's hanging out with Ryan again. The family's getting back together. Jen, I posted some clips to my Instagram about Jen and Larry, Ryan's parents, and them wanting to apologize to Taylor and Macy. Like, things are good, at least for Ryan and Macy and them right now. So that's good to see. And little Bentley. Yeah, I mean, some of the other stories are kind of the same thing. Devoyne left and he went to Michigan to work at Ford, which is insane. Yeah, I was just in Michigan, you guys, over the weekend. It was so great. We went to the Detroit Lions opening night, went to my niece's first birthday. It was such a fun time. I really had a great, great time in Michigan, and I love going home. So go Lions, we won. It was really fun. And so, yeah, Devoyne goes to Michigan to work at Ford. Jade has been supporting Trump and getting messy in the comments with her and Sean. I would say at this point, Cheyenne is giving me nothing. Ugh, she might be like my least favorite. Mackenzie gets engaged to Casanio, her Jamaican boyfriend that she's attempting to do IVF with. And even though she had her tubes tied and she's diabetic, it's a lot. I've never wanted to have a baby that bad, you guys. That was the feeling I'm talking about. To get your tubes untied and go through IVF as a diabetic, make you feel like shit every single day. And it might not even work. So we'll see. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else happened. Oh yeah, and obviously Ashley and Barr. Now Ashley is not my favorite, but the situation with Barr being basically allegedly on drugs, trying to kidnap, going into the house with guns, shooting up the house with guns, all this stuff. Like that's way too dark. Kind of like with Cheyenne when that shooting went down. Like some of these men are doing some illegal activity. It's dark over there. The baby mama and baby daddy drama is real. And it is very fascinating watching these dynamics. A lot of these people we've seen for a long time. Some of these kids are getting a lot older. And I kind of loved having Janelle back on the season. It's good. It's good to be checking in with these ladies and also to keep them. I think the TV show also probably keeps them accountable. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the parents are some of the saddest journeys. Jade's mom relapsed right when she got out of jail. Brianna's mom is dealing with her addiction in and out of rehab. Leah's dad, we've seen make a recovery and actually be able to spend some time with Leah and the twins and the girls. It's good. So, lots of family dynamics. Go watch the latest season of Teen Mom. If you're into that, it's good. It was a good season. I recommend it. You'll binge it. And that's a great way to segue into my first number one. That's a great way to segue into my number one most talked about moment of the week. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. MOMTOK. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody has, opinions about it. I'm seeing a lot of the same opinions. It's kind of clear like who the favorites were and who the villains were. Not too many controversial things, but I do want to talk so much about it. And I actually want to do, I think, somewhat of a recap. Like I don't really recap the shows with you guys that much. I'm going off vibes here. Okay. If you guys want to see again, these are my only notes. are just literally OMG, LOL, in my top 5. I just riff. I'm just riffing over here. So I think for the Mom Talk official breakdown for my number one most talked about moment, I'm going to do a recap style where I actually bring my notes, bring my receipts, and we break it down. So that will be part 2 of this episode. So make sure you're following me over there. Jump over there for the next one. And we're going to take a break here. And I'm going to actually go rewatch the finale one more time. And then I'm going to come back and talk about Mom Talk.